This is your news source evening bulletin for today, Thursday, the 30th day of June in the year 2022. I'm Gordon Mosley reporting, and here's what we're tracking tonight. Guyana and China are celebrating 50 years of diplomatic relations, and with Guyana eyeing more infrastructural development in the coming years as it becomes a major player in oil and gas, the Chinese ambassador to Guyana believes the country now sits as a hotbed for investment. During a reception to mark the golden anniversary of diplomatic ties between the two countries, Ambassador Guaihayan said China remains committed to cooperation with Guyana in development and other areas.
We believe that the mutually beneficial and win-win cooperation between China and Guyana will bear more fruits and bring more tangible benefits to both countries and peoples. China-Guyana cooperation is an open cooperation. We believe that Guyana is a hotbed of investment with fair competition, and we're happy to see the diversification of Guyana's international partners.
The Chinese ambassador was recently forced to defend Chinese investment in Guyana after a Chinese businessman who has operated in Guyana for years made allegations in an undercover US TV network investigation that for investors to benefit from government contracts in Guyana, bribes have to be paid. The businessman named the Vice President Bharat Jagdeo as a government official allegedly involved in corruption and the acceptance of bribes. The Vice President has denied the claim, while admitting that not only was he close friends with the businessman who made the claim, but the businessman was also his tenant. The Chinese ambassador in a statement said the expose by the US network was planned to cast a shadow and interfere with the relations between Guyana and China. President Irfan Ali told the reception last evening that relations between the two countries are strong and have been developing.
Relations between Guyana and the People's Republic of China are based on the principles of the United Nations Charter: respect for each other's sovereignty and territorial integrity, our shared ties of blood and history, the pursuit of fraternal relations, and our common interests. These relations are underscored by the One China policy. Relations between Guyana and the People's Republic of China are imperishable. Inseparable ties with China has brought tremendous development gains and has brought our people closer together.
In early 2021, Guyana was rebuked by the Chinese government over a failed move to establish a Taiwan trade office in Guyana. The move was announced by the US government, triggering diplomatic tensions at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs in both Guyana and China. The move was seen as going against the One China policy, and Guyana was forced to backtrack on the move after a phone call from the Chinese president and concerns that setting up of relations with Taiwan could damage Guyana's relations with China. Since then, Guyana has moved to assure China of its commitment to the relations between the two countries and its commitment to the One China policy. China sees Taiwan as a runaway province that must be reunited with the mainland. More news coming up in just a moment.
How fast is fiber? Think fast. GTT Fiber has 3 packages with download speeds of 50, 100, and 150 megabits per second. That's fast enough to stream movies and music, to chat with Gran and Fran, to study, and more. What would you do? Upgrade to GTT Fiber today and don't get left behind tomorrow.
Doors and windows, Republic. Rooms and more, Republic. A brand new rug on the floor. Come to Republic, come to Republic. Whatever you need, you got it. Come through and get your mortgage. Live the dream with Republic.
95 to 100% financing, 50% waiver of negotiation fees, plus one lucky person gets their mortgage paid in full. Turn someday into today. Talk to Republic Bank about your low-cost mortgage today.
Guyana is receiving more profits from oil production than ExxonMobil and its partners in the Stabroek Block. So far, the country has received over $700 million in profit oil and royalty. The royalty is paid by Exxon and its partners and is not recoverable.
The International Building Expo is the only expo of its kind in the Caribbean, fostering home ownership and catapulting the construction sector with innovative and sustainable building practices, creating and advancing linkages among local, regional, and international stakeholders. It's the new frontier for building a One Guyana. The International Building Expo, commencing from July 22 at the Guyana National Stadium. Register now at www.buildingexpo.gy. Get a chance to win a brand new Toyota Race when you apply for a home loan. Get pre-approved by applying online, in bank, or at the Building Expo. Apply now! Promotion ends July 24 and the drawing will take place on the final day of the International Building Expo. Here's your chance to win and drive home a Toyota Race. GBTI, we see Guyana through your eyes.
A compliance certificate and a liability statement confirms that you have met the requirements under the Income Tax Act. If you want to bid for a government contract, sell or buy land or property, you must first obtain a compliance certificate. If you want to apply for a small business loan, claim your pension benefits, gratuity, or obtain a firearm license, then you must first obtain a liability compliance. Find the liability and compliance application forms and the requirements for application online at gra.gov.gy. GRA, your partner in development.
Get in the game with Buster. Win a full gaming setup, Xbox X, gaming chair, gaming speaker and headset, or any of over 60 weekly prizes like Oculus Quest 2, Mini 2 drone, Nintendo Switch, and many more top gaming prizes. Check below for details.
Welcome back. Let's turn our attention right now to the police blotter. One day after she was last seen alive by relatives, the lifeless body of 29-year-old Kanji Berbice resident on Elisa Park was found dumped at the side of the roadway in Quarantine. According to a police report, the body was found wrapped in plastic. Family members have been left confused and shocked by the murder. The dead woman's sister told investigators that she last saw Donalisa on Wednesday morning when she left their home to do a hair braiding job in East Kanji, Berbice. The sister said Donalisa never returned home, and when she made contact with the person who had hired her to do the braiding job, the person reported that she was a no-show for the job on Wednesday, but had contacted her to tell her that she was heading to Quarantine. At around 7 o'clock this morning, the police were alerted to the discovery of the woman's body at the side of the roadway along the Courtland Village public road in Berbice. Crime Chief Wendell Blenheim has confirmed that a rank of the Guyana Defense Force, who was known to the woman, is a person of interest in the case, and the suspicion has been forwarded to the GDF. The soldier has since been handed over to the Major Crimes Unit of the Guyana Police Force, where he is being questioned about the murder. A full probe is being conducted, and investigators are also asking anyone with additional information to contact the nearest police station or call 911. President Irfan Ali this afternoon gathered members of his government, the diplomatic corps, private sector agencies, and other stakeholders for a presentation on the proposed gas-to-shore energy project. There have been concerns expressed over the project and its viability at this time. The president said there is no turning back and the project will move forward as its potential is strong.
Let me be very clear. We are not going to abandon this project. We are not going to abandon this project. If we have to go out again and again, we are going, because we know the studies and everything, including the independent review by Norway, has pointed to this project as being good for Guyana, being good for the environment, and bringing greater prosperity. So this project will get on the way.
Concerns about the multi-billion-dollar proposed project have varied from its cost to the environmental impact and the lack of sufficient public consultation. Today, the president assured that the project is a feasible one and workable, and that it will derive benefits in the long term.
The project fulfills the tests of public scrutiny. It fulfilled the tests of transparency. It fulfilled the environmental tests. I can go through with you fully. All we did on the environmental side, So it fulfilled its tests on the environmental side.
Work on the development of the gas ashore project is expected to start by the end of this year. The project will be jointly financed by the Guyana government and the ExxonMobil company at a cost of over $1.3 billion. The project is expected to be built in Wales on the west bank of the Marara and linked to the Stabroek oil block through more than 200 kilometers of pipeline. The government believes that through the project, the country will see reduced energy costs and the development of other products linked to oil and gas. Let's tell you now that the opposition leader Aubrey Norton has called on the Guyana police force to stop the indiscriminate firing of pellets and bullets into crowds. The call by the leader of the opposition comes in wake of the use of pellets and tear gas to clear the East Coast corridor of protesters on Tuesday night. During the police operation, a number of persons who were not part of the protest, including children and shopkeepers, were hit with the pellets and injured. 2 days later, the Guyana police force is still to release any statement about the use of the tear gas and the pellets and the injuries suffered by persons who were not part of the protesting crowds. The head of the police force's public relations unit, Mark Ramatar, has been ignoring repeated questions from the media on the issue. A Stabroek News editor and her young son, who were on their way home, were among the persons injured during the police operation. Today, the opposition leader said the actions of the police were callous.
Indiscriminate firing of pellets and bullets by police into the crowds must stop. Apart from being an excessive and callous use of force and unnecessarily injuring and terrorizing citizens, it is also ineffective and even counterproductive. The Ghana Police Force must use modern crowd control equipment and techniques to ensure demonstrations remain peaceful and lawful.
The protests along the east coast of the Marara on Tuesday echoed calls for justice for the police shooting death of East Coast youth Quindon Bacchus. 3.5 weeks since the shooting, the investigations are ongoing. The Guyana Police Force has indicated that the police rank at the center of the shooting incident remains in police custody. The opposition leader said the protests over the past 2 days have also raised a number of serious questions and issues in the country. Let's tell you now that taxi driver Thurston Semple, who was recently found guilty of physically assaulting and raping a woman who was a sex worker, will be spending the next 15 years in jail for the crime. High Court Judge Priya Bihari handed down the sentence today after the jury found the man guilty of all the charges related to the physical assault and sexual assault of the Venezuelan woman. Semple was first charged in February 2021 when the sex worker filed a police complaint about the brutal attack. During the trial, the judge and jury heard that the man hired the woman for sexual services and he became abusive towards her as he demanded more for his money. The court was also told that as the woman was preparing to leave the man's house, he armed himself with a knife and raped her, then assaulted her as she tried to prevent the traumatic attack. She was forced to escape from the house through a window, and he chased after her, caught up with her, and further assaulted her. A complaint was filed and the taxi driver was questioned and charged. While a psychiatric evaluation of him found that he suffered from an antisocial disorder, he was found to be of sound mind and someone capable of understanding the crime and the repercussions. Semple appeared in court today via video conference from the jailhouse, where he will be spending the next 15 years.
The International Monetary Fund has thrown its support behind Guyana's plans to bring down electricity costs through the landmark Gas-to-Energy project. This project is being supported by ExxonMobil and is expected to bring great relief to the people of Guyana through a massive reduction in electricity costs.
Get a chance to win a brand new Toyota Race when you apply for a home loan. Get pre-approved by applying online, in bank, or at the Building Expo. Apply now! Promotion ends July 24 and the drawing will take place on the final day of the International Building Expo. Here's your chance to win and drive home a Toyota Race. GBTI, we see Guyana through your eyes.
Whatever you need, you got it. Come through and get your mortgage. Live the dream with Republic.
95 to 100% financing, 50% waiver of negotiation fees, plus one lucky person gets their mortgage paid in full. Turn someday into today. Talk to Republic Bank about your low-cost mortgage today.
Get in the game with Buster. Win a full gaming setup, Xbox X, gaming chair, gaming speaker and headset, or any of over 60 weekly prizes like Oculus Quest 2, Mini 2 drone, Nintendo Switch, and many more top gaming prizes. Check below for details.
Fuel it up and drive, Super 95. Tune up. Fuel it up and drive, Super 95. Tune up. Protect your fuel system, boy. High mileage and performance, boy.
Guy Super 95 gasoline gives you more reasons to drive and is available at 56 service stations nationwide. For affordable price, high performance, and high mileage, choose Guy Super 95 gasoline.
Fuel it up and drive.
Across the region tonight, Venezuela has taken some steps to strengthen the rule of law, but the lack of independence of its legal system remains concerning. That's according to the UN High Commissioner for Human Rights, Michelle Bachelet, in a new report. Bachelet's office has documented human rights incidents in the nation for the past 2 years, and the latest report, which details the situation between May of last year and April of this year, noted police and judicial reforms during that period. Among the changes she highlighted was the restructuring of the national police and the official dissolution of the Special Action Forces. There has been a reduction in the number of deaths in security operations, the UN official noted in the report. But the report also indicated that measures to strengthen the independence of the Venezuelan judicial system remained insufficient. The report said links between the judiciary and politicians were a cause for concern, and appointments of judges should be made through a public and transparent process. Parliament appointed new members to the top court this year, raising concerns among critics and opponents. The suspected driver of a truck found abandoned in Texas with dozens of bodies inside has been charged with migrant smuggling resulting in death. The man, Homero Zamorano, was found posing as a migrant in the bush near the lorry in San Antonio, and he was arrested by police. Some 53 people died in the tragedy, many of them of heat stroke and dehydration, after being shut inside a truck in blistering heat without any water. It is the deadliest human trafficking incident in U.S. history. According to a top Mexican immigration official, the suspected driver, who was from Texas, had tried to pass himself off as one of the survivors when he was found by police. A second suspect was arrested on conspiracy charges. Federal prosecutors say investigators found him after searching through the phone of the driver and discovering the pair had been communicating. The U.S. Justice Department announced that the two men could face a maximum sentence of life in prison, or possibly the death sentence if convicted. Two further suspects linked to the address where the truck was registered have also been arrested on firearm offenses. And finally tonight, international news. Ketanji Brown Jackson has been sworn in as the newest Associate Supreme Court Justice, becoming the first black woman to serve on the nation's highest court. The appointment follows one of the most consequential Supreme Court terms in recent memory, with significant rulings on abortion and gun rights. The 51-year-old Jackson will replace Justice Stephen Breyer, joining the court's three-member liberal minority. She accepts the solemn responsibility of the role, she said in a statement. The former public defender joins the court at a tumultuous period in its history. The 9-member court is currently split between 6 Republican-appointed justices and 3 picked by Democrats. In recent weeks, it delivered several blockbuster decisions, overturning the 50-year-old Roe v. Wade decision on abortion, striking down a New York law restricting gun-carrying rights, and limiting the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency's power to reduce greenhouse gas emissions. The lifetime appointment will likely see Ms. Jackson on the bench for decades, but will not shift the current ideological balance of the court, reports the BBC. And that's your News Source Evening Bulletin for tonight. I'm Gordon Mosley reporting and encouraging you to stay safe.